You lock eyes with the stranger on the street. Half a second passes. Your heart rate spikes before you even think a single thought. Nobody taught you to feel that. Your body just knew. And the reason goes back further than you can imagine. 50,000 years ago, staring at someone wasn't rude. It was a warning shot. In a small tribe of maybe 30 people, everyone knew every face. So if a stranger looked straight into your eyes, it meant one of two things. Either they wanted to talk, or they wanted to fight. There was no in between. Here's the problem. Eyes are the fastest way to read intention. Before language, before words, before hello, the eyes were the whole conversation. A predator locks onto prey with its eyes. So does another human who's about to attack. Your ancestors' brains learned one simple rule. Direct eye contact equals possible danger. Look away or prepare to fight. And this rule wasn't just in humans. Watch almost any animal in nature. A dog will growl if you stare too long. A gorilla treats direct eye contact as a challenge. Even a house cat will see a long stare as a threat, not a compliment. Humans didn't invent this rule. We inherited it. It was already sitting in our biology long before we ever stood upright. So why didn't this fear just disappear once humans stopped fighting over territory with spears? Because the brain doesn't update that fast. Evolution moves in thousands of years. Culture moves in decades. Your brain is still running software from the savannah, except now it's opening spreadsheets and scrolling group chats. That's why prolonged eye contact still feels intense today. Ever notice how a job interviewer holding eye contact too long makes you nervous? Or how staring contests feel oddly stressful, even as a joke? That's not awkwardness. That's an ancient alarm quietly going off. But here's the part that gets weirder. Not all eye contact triggered fear. Only unexpected eye contact did. Inside the tribe, eye contact meant something completely different. A parent looking into a baby's eyes built trust. A hunting partner locking eyes before a chase meant, I've got your back. So the brain didn't just learn to fear eyes. It learned to read them like a signal. Familiar eyes, calm down. Unfamiliar eyes, stay alert. This is where it gets interesting for you, right now. Your brain still runs that exact same filter every single day. When a stranger on the street holds eye contact a beat too long, your body doesn't know it's today. It reacts like it's still deciding, friend or threat. And this filter runs faster than you can consciously think. Scientists have found the brain can register a direct stare in under 200 milliseconds. That's faster than you can blink twice. Long before your logical mind catches up, your ancient alarm system already made a decision about that stranger. Some researchers believe this is also why babies stare so intensely at faces in their first few months. They're not being cute, they're learning the difference between a safe face and a dangerous one before they can even speak a single word. Every stare in infancy is quietly training the same system you still use as an adult. By the time you're an adult, that system has run millions of these tiny tests without you ever noticing a single one. So if that's true, why do we still use eye contact to build trust today? Job interviews, first dates, sales pitches, we're told maintain eye contact, it shows confidence. But here's the twist nobody explains. You're not proving confidence. You're passing a threat test. Holding eye contact calmly signals something very old and very simple. I see you looking at me, and I'm not afraid, which, to an ancient brain, means I'm not a threat, and neither are you. That's the entire trick behind why confident eye contact feels so magnetic. It's not charisma, it's your nervous system saying this is safe. Notice how liars are taught to maintain eye contact on purpose. Not because it makes them honest, because it makes them pass the ancient test, even when they shouldn't. Your oldest instinct can actually be tricked. Poker players know this too. A steady, practiced gaze can mask a losing hand, because the other player's brain reads calm eyes as calm intentions. The ancient test was never designed to catch deception. It was only designed to catch danger. And that gap is exactly what con artists, salesmen, and skilled negotiators have quietly exploited for centuries. But there's one more layer to this, and it explains something almost everyone has felt. Ever locked eyes with someone across a room for just a second too long and felt your whole body react before your brain caught up? That reaction has a name in old survival terms. Mutual gaze arousal. It's the exact same physical spike, whether the eye contact means danger or attraction. Your body can't always tell the difference right away. That's why intense eye contact with a stranger can feel like fear and excitement at the same time. Your ancient brain fires the same alarm for both. Then your modern brain has to catch up and decide which one it actually is. This is also why avoiding eye contact feels so different depending on the moment. Looking away from a threat feels like relief. Looking away from someone you like feels like loss. Same reflex, completely different meaning, decided entirely by context. There is a reason this feeling shows up across almost every culture on Earth, even ones that never had any contact with each other. In many places, prolonged eye contact between strangers is still considered rude or aggressive. In others, it's expected as a sign of honesty. But the underlying alarm is the same everywhere. Only the social rules built on top of it changed. That's the part most people miss. The instinct is universal. The manners are just a costume we put on top of it. Now think about how strange this gets in the modern world. On a video call, you're technically looking at dozens of faces at once, but none of them are truly looking back at you. Your ancient alarm system doesn't know what to do with that. It expects eye contact to mean something, and instead it gets a screen full of eyes that aren't really watching anyone. That's part of why video calls feel so exhausting compared to talking in person. Your brain is running the same old threat detector on a completely new kind of face, and it never quite gets a clear answer. Even something as small as a photo can trigger a flicker of this system. A face staring directly out of a picture can hold your attention longer than one looking away, because some very old part of your brain still isn't sure if it's being watched. So the next time a stranger's eyes catch yours for a second too long, and your stomach does that little flip, you're not imagining it. You're not being dramatic. You're running a survival check that's older than fire, older than language, older than your entire species living in cities. Your body is still asking the same question tribes asked around a fire 50,000 years ago: friend or threat? We like to think eye contact is just a social habit. It's not. It's a 50,000-year-old test we're still taking every single day without ever knowing the exam started.